Well, probation, it's something people either know little about or their life really can become consumed by it.
Now, our in-depth report Monday night examined the burden of court costs, the fines, the mounting probation fees that can act as invisible shackles. And tonight, our investigation brings us to Hawkins County, where a private probation complaint sheds a light on a possible conflict of interest between private probation company employees and a judge who refers clients the business needs to survive when it comes to financial ties between the companies and the judges. News Channel 11's Kylie McGivern looks at how close is too close.
Last month, Hawkins County Clerk of Courts Sarah Davis filed a complaint stating Alternative Correction Services employees Danny Henry and David Culbertson each gave Todd Ross a $1,000 campaign contribution. It's a conflict of interest complaint on one end, said to be common practice on the other. When I first made contact with Judge Todd Ross, he said that basically there was no story here, that these types of campaign donations happen all the time. So for the next week and a half, I tried multiple times to call him and set up an on-camera interview, to which I received no response. So just to be fair, we made a trip to Rogersville. I was told Judge Ross was not available, so I made one last attempt to reach him. Success. Really wanted to continue talking to you about the story that I talked to you about last week, for us to meet up and talk about everything we had discussed. Judge Ross did not want us to air his voice, but said he doesn't know why we are interested in the story. We just want to have that on camera of you saying, I don't feel that anything is wrong. I don't want you to be surprised when you see it, and I want to be as fair as possible with it. Judge Ross said he will not appear on camera nor give a statement. The thing is, he already did on Facebook. In part, quote, I know the vast majority of you see this for what it is. Mrs. Davis recruited and is openly supporting my opponent in this election and thinks the voters of Hawkins County can be swayed by her antics, end quote. The Private Probation Services Council has a rules of professional conduct. Under the conflict of interest section, it says, no private entity that provides probation services may give or offer to give anything of value to a governmental employee or the employee's immediate family. After talking with Judge Ross, he said that's exactly why there isn't an issue, that Danny Henry gave the campaign contribution on his own behalf rather than that of ACS. However, state records show the addresses listed for both Henry and Culbertson are the same as the company's offices. Henry never returned any of my messages requesting an interview. Judge Ross says that these donations happen everywhere, but others have concerns about the precedent it sets. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, that's very disturbing and creates, I think, a very clear conflict of interest.
Has anyone from Crossroads or involved in Crossroads, either currently or in the past, to your knowledge, ever made any campaign contributions to yourself or any judge?
I don't know about any other judge. I know me. No, not at all.
Judge John Walton says he hadn't heard of the private probation company when he ran in '98, and then he ran unopposed in 2006.
I wouldn't take it because I don't think that's right, because I work closely with them and sign their warrants and, have to make decisions whether they're making right and wrong calls. And I just don't think that'd be proper. Like I said, that's up to each judge, but that's my thoughts on it.
Crossroads Director Robin Schaefer shared those thoughts.
Absolutely none that I'm aware of, no. Not in this county, not by this agency, not by anyone that I'm aware of.
Do you think that there would be some conflict of interest in
There
that?
would be a big conflict of interest, and that would be a huge conflict of interest.
But back in Hawkins County, Judge Ross said in his defense that he is not allowed to know who contributes to his campaign, referring to the Supreme Court's Code of Judicial Conduct. Sullivan County Administrator of Elections Jason Boer confirms it is the only set of offices that requires candidates to be sitting in the dark.
If you have people who are trying to get the business of the court, making contributions to the individual judges who make that decision and who they would be working with, it creates a very serious conflict. In Tennessee, there are rules on the books that are designed to prevent that, but perhaps they aren't clear enough or broad enough. And if some people are finding ways around them, it's something that should really be of serious public concern.
Judge Ross told me if it turns out there was any wrongdoing, he will make sure the campaign contributions get back to the donors. And Josh, the state tells me that the complaint will be presented as well as discussed at the next Private Probation Services Council meeting, and that is scheduled for September 5th.
Okay, Kylie McGivern tonight. Kylie, thank you very much. Sarah?